languages and to help preserve them. In this certain foundation, to me it seems like there is a lot of money going to the researching process and not as much protecting, and I believe that we should start protecting as soon as possible. An example of the United Nations helping protect languages is during the National Convention on Biological Diversity in 1992, there was a quote that stated, "Respect, preserve, and maintain knowledge, innovations, and practices of indigenous and local communities embodying traditional lifestyles relevant for the conservation and sustainable use of biological diversity." This quote was discussing the idea of supporting indigenous languages in Zimbabwe to help further improve their economy. And the graph on the lower right shows the percentage of language loss in certain countries and continents. So as you can see in America, the light blue, which is 38%, is the amount of languages that are of least concern of being endangered or extinct. And 17 on the other end of the spectrum is the dark purple, and that represents the 17% of languages that are already extinct. And in between there is a darker red, which is critically endangered, orange, which is endangered, and vulnerable, which is the yellow. Now through a cultural lens. Many important things are lost when a language becomes extinct. Some of those being perspective of the world and important history and cultural beliefs. And one example of someone who tried to preserve a language is Vahid Parvarish. She attempted to videotape her grandmother while speaking her grandmother's native tongue, but the grandmother and other women of the tribe that spoke this language disapproved because their religious beliefs did not allow them to use a camera. Vahid Parvarish was very saddened by this because she would always see her grandma, who seemed very upset because what used to be a very prosperous language was now only spoken by a few people. But this is also important in understanding that we should not disobey a tribe-specific request if they decide that they don't want extra help to keep their language thriving and to help it survive. Now, through an ethical lens. In the Catholic Church, there are 7 social teachings, and 2 of them specifically pertain to this topic. One of those being the life and dignity of the human person. That means human life is sacred and that the dignity of the human person is the foundation of a moral vision for society. This is very important because we should help cultures and people that want assistance, but for those that don't, we shouldn't take away their dignity by forcing it upon them. And the other Catholic social teaching that pertains to this is rights and responsibilities, and that is human dignity can be protected and a healthy community can be achieved only if human rights are protected and responsibilities are met. This then goes on to say, every person has a fundamental right to life and a right to those things required for human decency. And this is very important because humans' rights are not protected if their dignity is taken away, and their dignity can be taken away if they request us not to help them, but we go about doing it anyway. Now, a solution to language loss. I believe that a great idea to help languages from dying out is to create a system similar to the dictionary that has translations for the words and the meanings in their native tongue and how to pronounce them, but also in that dictionary a part of it that is dedicated to the cultural, historical, and celebrations that tribe is that are very important to that tribe. Therefore, we will never lose that stuff. And if we do this, a language will never be lost again, and it will always be able to be relearned. And that is my work cited. Thank you.
I just have to ask you a couple questions.
All right. Well, originally, after reading the stimulus materials, I really wanted to do something about the plant article and also the letter to my nephew article, but I could never figure out a question to do about that. And then as soon as I read the section that was about endangered languages in different areas of the world, I knew right away, I formulated a question in my head and I knew that that was what I wanted to do.
If you had more time, what more would you want to know about this topic? What other additional research would you look for?
I would probably start by doing personal research and finding a translator and going to endangered language tribes and endangered cultures and seeing what they would think is best to help improve their condition that they're in and if they would like extra assistance.
Like a first-hand account?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Done.